Hey, we are Movie Club. So this is my first review for this club, and hopefully more to come. This week we watched the movie which was recommended by Meta Medicine, which was the Danish movie The Hunt. Now this movie follows the story of a gentleman named Lucas. He's a somewhat down on your luck sort of guy who lost his job at one of the higher education schools, probably like a middle school or high school perhaps, and now works at the local kindergarten. Which this is kind of looked down upon to a certain extent, specifically by his ex-wife, who he has a somewhat volatile relationship with. And she has custody of his son. He's wanting to spend more time with his son, and that's kind of where he's at in his situation in life right now, and where he may be a little bit down on his luck to a certain extent. So things end up starting to turn around for him. He gets a girlfriend, one of the co-workers at the school where he works, and it looks like his son might actually come to live with him. So things are starting to look up for Lucas. He has interaction with a young girl named Clara, and she is actually his best friend Theo's daughter, and they're also neighbors. They live nearby. I get the impression that this town is probably fairly small. And he has these interactions with her that are completely innocent. You know, she's lost, he walks her home. You know, her parents are fighting, he walks her to school. And she, like some young girls do, ends up getting a crush on him to a certain extent, and decides one day to give him a kiss while he's playing with some of the other kids. He, like the grown, mature adult, does the right thing and lets her know that that's not appropriate to do, and, you know, she shouldn't be kissing other adults unless it's her parents. Unfortunately, she does not take to this very well, and one day tells one of the other teachers that she hates him because he has a penis, and because it is erect like a rod. And that particular phrase, erect like a rod, she actually got from her older brother, who was one day with a friend watching some inappropriate material that she happened to see and overhear them talking about. So because she's angry in the moment about what has happened, her feelings are hurt, she says something that is untrue and stupid. And obviously this other teacher takes this accusation very seriously. You know, she doesn't necessarily say specifically that she saw anything or that anything specific happened, but the comments themselves kind of take on a whole nother meaning when they come from a child. So that's kind of how the story starts. Eventually the story goes into, you know, him having to deal with this accusation and continue to live his life knowing that he has done nothing to this child, and them trying to work that out. So ultimately, I really liked this movie. It made me think, and it was very emotional. The one thing that always sort of threw me off while I was watching this was that, you know, a lot of the parents are like, oh, kids don't lie. And I'm thinking to myself, sure they do. I was a kid once and I lied all the time. My mom would tell you, down in the comments probably, that, you know, I didn't necessarily lie about inappropriate things happening between adults and children, but more in the sense of, you know, how many peanut butter cups did you have, Sydney? Oh, I only had one, when it was really probably 5. But that comment to say that kids don't lie just sort of blew my mind. I mean, maybe that's how it is in Denmark, perhaps, because this is where this film is filmed at. So I think that was the only thing that sort of threw me off, and I guess to a certain extent they probably think to themselves, why would a child lie about seeing a man's penis, you know? And they don't know what the backstory is. They aren't watching the situation unfold as we did and how it's been set up in the movie, so they wouldn't know. And, you know, the little girl tries to let them know, like, I've said something stupid, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. And, you know, they have to take into consideration that it's possible she's saying that because, you know, she's in a denial state to a certain extent, and has suppressed the memories perhaps. And, you know, they tell her this, and it almost convinces her that she's forgotten that something may have happened. So ultimately, I would say, if you haven't seen this movie, definitely give it a watch. If you're feeling a little bit blue or feeling down, not in the greatest mood, it's probably not the right movie to watch at that particular point in time. But if you're interested in watching something that's, deep and gives you something to think about and is emotional to a certain extent, I would definitely give this movie a watch. So I think that's all that I had for this particular review. But again, like I said, hopefully we'll have more of these to come, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.